Before we begin, a warning. This video discusses self-harm and an apparent mental health emergency. BLUX will not show the live stream, reproduce graphic images, or describe the act in detail. Please take care while watching. Perez Hilton built a career turning celebrity lives into public entertainment. For years, breakups, breakdowns, scandals, and private mistakes became headlines on his website. But on Tuesday night, Perez himself became the subject of a disturbing viral story. He began broadcasting live from his home in Miami. What viewers witnessed did not appear to be celebrity drama, a publicity stunt, or an internet performance. It appeared to be a genuine personal emergency. Concerned viewers began contacting authorities. Police arrived at his home. And before the night was over, Perez Hilton had been taken to a hospital. But while emergency responders were trying to protect a human life, another machine was already moving. The internet began searching for the video. Here is what has been officially confirmed. The Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office received multiple calls from people reporting that a man was live streaming acts of self-harm on social media. Deputies were dispatched to Perez Hilton's home, where they reportedly found that he had been alone during the broadcast. Authorities spoke with members of his family and initially created distance while continuing to monitor the situation. That decision confused some people watching events unfold online. Why had officers not immediately entered the house? But the sheriff's office explained that this was part of its crisis intervention approach. During a mental health emergency, officers may attempt to slow the situation down, create opportunities for communication, and reduce the possibility of anyone being injured. With assistance from Miami-Dade Fire Rescue, Hilton was eventually transported safely to a nearby hospital for medical attention. The Sheriff's Crisis Response Unit and licensed mental health professionals were also present to provide assistance to his family. Hilton's representatives said that they were aware of the troubling material circulating online. At the time of their initial statement, they said they had not been able to contact him directly and would not speculate without confirmed information. They asked the public to respect the privacy of Perez and his family. As of this recording, there has not been a detailed, verified public update explaining his condition or what may have caused the crisis. And that distinction matters, because the internet has already begun filling that absence of information with theories. People are attempting to connect this incident to previous health problems, personal relationships, religion, and other events in his life. None of those explanations has been officially confirmed. We should not diagnose a person through a screen. And we should not turn speculation into fact simply because a story is trending. What happened next reveals something deeply uncomfortable about the way we now consume human suffering. Look at these Google Trends results. Searches for Perez Hilton updates increased by more than 4,000%. That part is understandable. People wanted to know whether he was alive, whether he had received help, and what authorities were saying. But other searches were more troubling. People searched for the TikTok live stream. They searched for the complete video. They searched for increasingly graphic descriptions of what happened. The emergency had barely ended, and thousands of strangers were already trying to locate the most vulnerable moment of another person's life. Not because watching it could help him, not because it was necessary to understand the news, but because the internet has trained people to believe that every shocking event must come with footage. Everything must be seen. Everything must be captured. Everything must become content. Videos and screenshots from the broadcast reportedly began circulating after the live stream ended. Hilton's TikTok account was suspended shortly afterward, but removing the original broadcast could not erase the copies that had already spread elsewhere. This is where viewers also have a responsibility. When someone appears to be in immediate danger, reporting the live stream to the platform and contacting emergency services can potentially save a life. The people who alerted authorities did the right thing, but downloading the footage is different. Reposting it is different. Adding dramatic music, reaction faces, and monetized commentary is different. At that point, concern becomes consumption. A person experiencing an emergency is no longer being treated as a human being. They are being treated as material. There is an unavoidable layer to this story. Perez Hilton became famous during the most aggressive era of online celebrity gossip. His website grew rapidly in the mid-2000s through caustic commentary, provocative headlines, and photographs altered with handwritten insults and drawings. Some of the biggest stars in the world became recurring subjects. Britney Spears was among those whose most difficult years were turned into relentless public coverage. Years later, Perez acknowledged that he had failed to lead with empathy and apologized for the way he treated her. That history is relevant, but it must not be used to celebrate what has happened to him. Some comments online are already framing this incident as karma, as though cruelty in the past means that suffering in the present is deserved. It does not. You can condemn the way Perez Hilton treated celebrities. You can question whether his apologies were enough. You can hold him accountable for the media culture he helped create. And you can still recognize that a person in crisis deserves help rather than humiliation. Those positions do not contradict each other. In fact, that is the entire lesson. If we believe the celebrity gossip culture of the 2000s was cruel, then repeating that cruelty today would prove that we learned nothing from it. The machine does not become ethical simply because its latest target once helped build it. This incident also raises serious questions for TikTok and every other platform offering live streaming. A pre-recorded video can be reviewed before it reaches a large audience. A live stream happens in real time. There may be no editor, delay, or responsible person standing between a private crisis and thousands of viewers. When dangerous behavior begins, how quickly can the platform identify it? How quickly can moderators end the broadcast? Can viewers immediately find the correct reporting option? And after the original stream is removed, what does the platform do about copies? These systems are designed to maximize attention. The most emotional and shocking material often produces the strongest reaction. But during a crisis, maximizing attention can create real harm. The same algorithm that makes a dance, joke, or political argument spread around the world can also distribute someone's worst moment before help arrives. That cannot be treated as an unavoidable side effect of technology. Platforms built live streaming systems. They also carry responsibility for making those systems safer. Responsible reporting does not require pretending the event never happened. Perez Hilton is a public figure. Authorities responded to his home. His hospitalization is a legitimate news story, but the footage itself is not necessary. We can explain what authorities confirmed without showing injuries. We can discuss the public reaction without embedding the video. We can examine the failure of online culture without contributing to that failure. And we can resist the pressure to turn an apparent mental health emergency into a spectacle. The line is not always complicated. Report the facts. Do not diagnose. Do not romanticize. Do not ridicule. Do not show graphic material merely because it generates clicks. And do not forget that family members, friends, and children may eventually see the coverage being produced today. Perez Hilton spent much of his career documenting other people's most vulnerable moments. Now the camera has turned toward him. But this should not be treated as poetic justice. It should be treated as a warning. A warning about a media economy that converts pain into engagement. A warning about audiences that increasingly confuse access with entitlement. And a warning about platforms capable of broadcasting a personal emergency to the entire world before anyone has time to intervene. You do not need to like Perez Hilton. You do not need to excuse his past. But a human being experiencing a crisis is not a piece of entertainment. The most important part of this story is not what happened in the footage. It is that concerned viewers recognized an emergency, contacted authorities, and helped bring professional assistance to the scene. That is the behavior worth repeating. Not searching for the video, not reposting it, not slowing it down and examining it frame by frame. Sometimes the most responsible decision is to look away from the footage and toward the person. We hope Perez Hilton receives the medical care, privacy, and support that he and his family need. This is BLUX. Anyone affected by the issues discussed in this video should contact a local crisis service, emergency service, or qualified healthcare professional. In the United States and Canada, call or text 988. In an immediate emergency, contact your local emergency number.